We heard helicopters. We assumed that it was a medical thing or something. I don't know. Wednesday night, and then it had turned out when I woke up in the morning, there was a raid where I walked by and the person's door, the lock had been blown off. There was like fire marks on the door.
Like, it's crazy that you think you're taking criminals off the street, but you're just taking regular people that want to help their community off the street.
You want to see what real independent journalism funded by the people for the people looks like?
You ever heard a story like this in America?
You're looking at it.
Congratulations for always being somewhere where mainstream media is not.
Flint, Michigan.
See you in Nevada.
Thanks to people like you, we can get the truth. Corporate media, they've been lying to us for years, and you go straight to the people.
You are the man. I'm glad you're here.
For as low as 16 cents a day, you'll keep us on the ground, covering the important stories the corporate media covers up.
JT Siskowski with Status Coup here outside of the Broadview, Illinois ICE facility. I am here with Morsa.
I've seen them get agitated before this fence was put up. People were literally dancing, and they had a bubble machine, and people were dancing with bubbles, and they started shooting at them. So it's really just like, because I don't know that it's going to be this calm. It's calm right now, but that could change by the second. They'll use any excuse, any reason. My car was actually shot at with like those pepper balls multiple times, and it was parked over there by that pole. And I wasn't near my car. It was off. It was parked for a hot second. I was in the tent organizing things, and I just hear boom, boom, and then it sounded like automatic, like drrr, and I look out. My car was covered. There was like literally pepper balls all past the stop sign. So it's really, really random, because sometimes people, before, if you touch, like those people that are over there and they're touching the fence, if you even got near it, it was like they would start shooting. Now they're not. Now it's calm. But then the other day, that was the same thing. Like, you could go up to it and people would touch it and it would be fine. And then like a couple hours later, someone had their car here standing. Actually, that was the same day that my car got shut up. There's a car standing here playing music, and they were there for a while, and I don't know what happened. It was a shift change or what, but they just started shooting like crazy, those pepper ball bullets. It was, again, there's no rhyme or reason.
I've lived in Chicago my whole life, and I've never felt the environment that it is now. People are scared to leave their homes, and not just people who are undocumented, like people who are here legally, here, who were born here. They're scared to leave their homes because there's people who are being picked up who are citizens, and they're still being arrested. And given that there's like 1,200 immigrants that have gone missing, like, people wonder, if they pick me up, even if I'm a citizen, what's going to happen to me? Is anybody going to know? Is anybody going to hear about it? So there's a lot of fear in my community. There's definitely like, people want to stay home. Yesterday, there's a lady in Little Village that she makes food to sell, and anytime she has extra food left, she gives it to the homeless. And yesterday she posted on Facebook about how she was scared to go give the food out to the homeless. Like, it's crazy that you think you're taking criminals off the street, but you're just taking regular people that want to help their community off the street. To be scared to leave your own home to do a charitable act to feed the homeless, to me is like, it's almost like what you see in movies. I never thought that this would be Chicago. Out of all the cities, I love this city. It is so liberal, it is so progressive, it is so diverse, and for people to have fear in Chicago, it makes me sad personally.
Can you talk about some of those ICE activities that you have seen in the communities where you live and work?
Well, I live in Cicero, and we heard helicopters. We assumed that it was a medical thing or something. I don't know. Wednesday night, and then it had turned out when I woke up in the morning, there was a raid where I walked by and the person's door, the lock had been blown off. There was like fire marks on the door, and when I walked behind, the garage door was open. So I then, that was my day off. I came back hours later to see if the garage door was still open, and it was, but it looked like there was a neighbor over there helping out. And then I believe it was Saturday morning, I was on my way to work going down Central to get on 88 there, and I saw several people holding anti-ICE signs.
Sure.
And just thought maybe there was like a little thing going on, and then, went home and saw somebody had gotten picked up at the bus station, which the problem with that is that now everyone is scared to ride the bus.
Yep.
So a lot of employees who work all over the Chicagoland area taking public transportation are not able to go to work. My friend is a vice principal at a school in Chicago, and he had said earlier today that half of his students are out because the parents are afraid to take them to school.
It's a little jarring, especially like when you go downtown and you saw that huge ICE presence, which is like, you never see that much official presence in Chicago. And I feel like all the stigma that Chicago is getting because of it, it's like a momentum. Like people who didn't live in Chicago already had this stigma of we have so much crime. Trump said we're killing each other, and now you bring all these armed officers with these huge guns. People are gonna think they're gonna believe the stigma that we already have. I've traveled all over the world. I've been to Israel. I've been to other countries where military presence is a norm, and there's always heavy military presence. That's how it feels in Chicago now. And to say that is crazy.
Had you ever expected to see this happening in the United States, let alone in your community?
I never expected to see it in Chicago, but I've never expected to see it in the United States. I studied business in undergrad, and I also studied business in grad school, and I studied global economies. And as I was telling you earlier, how the United States is behaving now is how you would see other countries like Venezuela or El Salvador who have political instability. That's how they behave. The things that the United States is doing with the military presence, the tariffs on international media, trying to control the TikTok algorithm, like other countries do that because they don't want their citizens to receive outside information. That is not like a democratic or free country way of operating. So the fact that at an academic level, there's been comparisons made between the United States and those types of countries that we supposedly thought that we are above and have a better like government than them is crazy to me. Like people being able to compare the US with a country that has a dictatorship, I never thought that would be, like, I would tell you, no, you're crazy. That's not how the US operates.
What are ways that the federal government could be using its resources right now to actually help people living in the Chicago area?
I'm gonna be honest, there's like such a long list of things that they could put their money to that it's like hard to pinpoint one. Like I would rather go to literally anything, whether it's education, healthcare. They wanna talk about how like violent the streets of Chicago are, but they're also actively trying to defund schools and like different programs that help kids stay out of trouble because of, as someone who grew up in Chicago, it is a very, very, very like, how do I say this, sensitive topic because a lot of people who go into like the violent gangs or whatever the people talk about are just people who come from broken families, broken homes, and are specifically targeted because they don't have food. They don't have a way to see hope outside of that.
All the money that they're spending on this ICE facility, on sending the National Guard, if Trump really cared about crime, if he truly cared about crime, he could spend that money towards education, towards helping kids, towards helping inner city kids, towards helping like people get jobs. He could spend it on affordable housing. Poverty is what breeds crime. So if you're truly concerned about crime, you would use that influx of money to bring the poverty level down and give people a better quality of life. But instead you're wasting that money on this. How much did this fucking fence cost? How many school lunches could you have fed for kids with what they spent on this fence?
I mean, if crime was actually an issue for these people and they cared so much about law and order, they could have put a lot of this resource and money into social service programs that could have helped people before they got desperate enough to commit a crime, or before, maybe they have a mental issue that they need something to work out. Instead, they have spent it to attack the city, actively telling the city, get ready for a shit show, and then deploying an LRAD system because of peaceful protesters. It's just absurd. That's our money being used to microwave the skin of peaceful protesters. I don't understand how anyone can be okay with that.
Right where they took the money from, the organizations that are there to build up young members of the community so that they can get out of their situations. Those funds were taken away. Those should be returned because the social cycle just keeps going over and over again. If you never have the opportunity to own a house, if you never have the opportunity to go to college, if you never have the opportunity to take the Cermak Road bus to work,